This is the naked truth about real estate investing. Your host, Javier, has already been through all the brain damage of this business, so you don't have to go through it. That way, you're not exposed to all of the risk of losing your shirt or getting caught with your pants down. So let's dive into another no BS episode right now.
All right. It can be very time consuming. It can be very scary. It could be like trying to get somewhere without a roadmap, right? So that's why I created this due diligence list when I buy a property. When I buy an apartment building, even a mobile home park, you can use it for, mostly pretty much any commercial property. But this one specifically is for a multifamily. It could be a 6 unit. It could be a 600 unit. You can use it, for what you like. So go ahead and sign up, put your name, email. I'll send you the free link to my due diligence. This is what I've used to buy, hundreds and hundreds of units, if not, thousands of units. So sign up, you get my link. You get an Excel sheet as well. And also we use the software, project management software, Monday.com. Feel free to sign up for a free trial. I do have an affiliate link. You don't pay any extra, right? They just pay me a small fee. Don't have to use it. You have the Excel spreadsheet, but if you use Monday.com, it's actually a lot better, a lot smoother, a lot prettier, and you can do a whole bunch of other stuff. There's even a video there I created in the link. So check the link, sign up, and this is my giveaway for you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Hello, everybody. This is Javier Hinojo, your host of The Naked Truth About Real Estate Investing, and I am with Larry Goins out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And as you can see, my background's a little different. I just moved into the new place, and we're almost done setting it up. So pretty soon you'll see a lot better. But Larry's kind of a neighbor. I'm in Raleigh, so we're like 2.5 hours away. Not too bad. Both of us in North Carolina. He's in the hot market of Charlotte, and he's done over 1,000 properties, seller financing. I think Larry has more experience in his pinky than I do my whole body when it comes to real estate. He's got a couple of programs as well that kind of home study course for anybody who wants to learn what he does. And so Larry, go ahead and let everybody know a little more about you.
What's happening, man? How you been?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for having me on the show. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, I've been doing this. I'm in the trenches every day doing deals. This is where I stand every day. I've got a stand-up desk, and I'm on the phone negotiating deals. I got 4 offers accepted yesterday. But I do mainly wholesaling. I do some seller finance as well. But I've been doing this for 35 years, bought and sold probably around 1,000 properties in 12 different states. And you pretty much name it, I've done a little bit of it. I don't care if it's wholesaling, retail and fix and flips, lease options, sub-2 deals, and short sales. I've done residential, commercial, multifamily. I've owned mobile home parks. I've owned some Dollar General stores. I owned a Shoney's restaurant one time.
Shoney's?
Yeah, I owned a Shoney's. I owned a Shoney's in Greensboro, right off of I-40 in Greensboro.
40? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, right off of I-40. I owned that Shoney's.
I've been there.
Yeah. I've been to that Shoney's.
Yeah, go down to the ACC tournament, right? And hit that Shoney's, or used to hit that old Charlie's, or the Charlie's.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Super cool.
So yeah, so I've done about everything in real estate, but I love the small deals. I love cheap houses. But I've recently flipped 2 self-storage facilities. Got one of them closing in the next couple of weeks, and I'm doing some land deals. I've got a land deal that I'm flipping right now, buying it for $400, selling it for $680, same day. Well, not same day, within a few days. But yeah, you name it, I've just about done it. But I don't have a big team. I've had big teams in the past. At one time, I was traveling around the country speaking and teaching and doing seminars and conventions and expos, things like that. But I got to where, I'm 60 years old. No, I don't look like it, right? But I'm 60. But I love real estate, and I'm in here in the trenches every day, just making offers, hammering out deals. Like I said yesterday, I got 4 offers accepted yesterday, and I feel like it's a good week if I get 5 accepted in a week. But yesterday I got 4.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's the way I look at it: if I get 1 a day, that's 5 a week. That's 20 a month. If half of them close, that's 10 deals a month. you make 10, 20, $30,000 per deal. That's not a bad month. And but I don't have a big acquisitions team. I've got 2 VAs in the Philippines. I've got a couple of setters that tee them up for me. They gather all the property details because I don't like the minutia, the details. I'm very much a big picture negotiator kind of guy. I love getting on the phone, figuring out how we're going to put a deal together. I got a guy on the phone yesterday, a couple of days ago. I just couldn't get him to accept an offer. And finally I said, what if I just pay your price and I'll give you half now and half in 3 years? He said, all right, I'll do that. I'm like, wow. So, I got that deal put together. I couldn't get him to do seller financing or cash at my price or whatever. So half now and half in 3 years, no interest, no payments. I can make that work, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So, well, so yeah, so just talking about 35 years, you got a lot of knowledge. After we get off this call, we're gonna have to go ahead and schedule like 35 more interviews so we can get a little bit of each what you've done. Man, super awesome. And I love the fact that you're standing up and you have so much energy. I would have never guessed you were 60 years young. I would have never guessed that.
Wow. Thanks,
Never
man. I
guessed that.
appreciate that. I
Yep.
appreciate that. I love what I do. I'm out here in a big room. I don't know if you could, like, here's our testimonials all across the wall
On the wall there.
of successful students, testimonials from successful students. So, yeah, but I
Well,
love it. I'm out here in the room. I got other people out here around me. I've got a closing manager. I've got Candace, who's our integrator, and she also goes out and does property evals. My son, who is 17, he's right over there on the phone teeing them up for me as well. His friend, who is also 17, comes in and is on the phone doing this, helping us out. So outside of that, it's me and a couple of VAs, and I have one disposition manager and an accounting manager, and that's it.
wow. Okay. So super cool. So why don't you tell me, like, I know you've done a lot. You've done a lot of real estate right now, and in 35 years, you've been through some highs and some lows, and right now we're like at a high, right? It's like, everything's being, everything's kind of overpriced, right? Like I buy apartment buildings, and man, some of these sellers are like, I want a 3 cap. I'm like, you're crazy, and like somebody will pay for it,
Right.
and sure enough, like 2 months later, somebody will pay like a little bit above a 3 cap for an apartment building in Austin. I'm like, dang, I would have never paid that, but
Right.
it's crazy market. So right now, right? So how do you compare, say, from like say 2008, 2010, kind of the area to right now, right when the market was like that, and then it crashed to right now when it's like that, and we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea where it's going.
Man, I don't either. I don't have a crystal ball either. But I am in I like to, I don't like competition. Okay. I hate competition. I'm in the Charlotte MSA. The Charlotte MSA, Metropolitan Statistical Area, just like Raleigh MSA. I go out 2 or 3 counties in the small town USA. In fact, I created a training called Small Town Profits, right? But I like to go out 2 or 3 counties out, and I don't even look for median price homes. I don't even look for tract houses. I look for houses that are under 100,000, free and clear, and in small town USA. That's it. It could be vacant land. It could be a lot. It could be a mobile home. It could be 6 mobile homes on one lot. It could be any of those, right? It could be a single family. It could be a tear down, right? In fact, one of the questions I ask people sometimes, well, I hadn't seen the house in 5 years. Well, let me ask you, is it a fixer upper or a blower upper, right?
Yeah,
So remember, funny equals money when you're
yeah,
talking
for
to people,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
I like
we
that.
buy a lot of properties that have a tear down on them. We buy a lot of properties for 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. And our goal is to make 15 on every wholesale deal, right? If we're wholesaling, our goal is to make 15 grand. But I got one closing that we're making 100 on, the self-storage facility. It's just a small one, 64 units. We bought it for 200. We're selling it for 300. And the land deal I just told you, we bought for 400, selling it for 680. So, that's $280,000 profit right there.
Yeah.
But most of our deals are 10, 15, $20,000 deals. And sometimes we have a $5,000 deal or $7,500 deal, but that's just the way it is, right? But I
Sometimes
love it.
yes. Oh, sorry. Sometimes you get a walk. Sometimes you get a single. Sometimes you get a home run. Right.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Yeah.
right. I love it.
So right now, 2021, right? The market is insane. So You kind of mentioned a little bit. You go out a few counties. So what is your best? I mean, what do you work? What are you working on right now? What do you see that's working in this hot market? Is it just
Um,
consistency, or just any kind of pivots you've made the last 6 months?
Yeah, the key is being creative right now, right? The key is being creative and going to, it's kind of like fishing. You want to go to the fishing holes nobody else knows about, right?
Okay.
If I'm in the Charlotte MSA, they're like, oh, I could list my house with a realtor, or I got 20 postcards coming in every week. I want to go out in the small towns, 2, 3, 4 counties out, where they don't get a postcard. People aren't SMS or RVM or cold calling them, right? They're not getting that. So, and also on the junky houses, the cheap houses, the junky houses, I mean, there's money to be made on anything. I got we got a call. Somebody found our website somehow about 4 hours away down near the beach in a little town called Latta, South Carolina,
Okay.
and they had a lot. It was just a lot, right? And and I ended up buying the lot for, I think it was $10,000, seller financing, no money down, 3 or 4 or 5% interest. I can't remember how much. You know, payment like $200 a month, and we turned around and sold that, and we got, I can't remember how much it was, 5,000 or $7,500 down. We might have sold it for 19.9 or 17.5 or something like that, or 14.9, and got whatever down. We kept that, and then my buyers make a payments to my seller. So we wholesale seller finance deals all the time as well, right? So
Awesome.
you can make money on anything at the right price or the right terms.
Yeah, right price, right term. So for you right now, it's just being creative, right? Just kind of present different kind of options for your sellers, to where you're not just the guy making a cash offer. I can close in 10 days, cash. This is my price. You're like, hey, I can close in 10 months, right? With maybe cash price, or my terms, your price,
Right,
but whatever the
right,
seller
right,
needs,
right,
right? That's super
right.
cool.
And that's the reason when I market and do direct mail, my list free and clear under 100,000, right? So it's not like it's a $500,000 house where it's going to change their life whether or not they sold it, right? It might be a $30,000 house. They like the cash flow from the rentals, but they're tired of dealing with tenants, trash, termites, and toilets. So instead of getting 600 a month rent, how about I pay you 350 a month in payments? You're going to save money on taxes. It's the installment sale. Look it up. I'll send you a link. Talk to your CPA. I'll pay you 5% interest, because if you stick the money in the bank, you're going to earn a 0.5% interest, right? So I'm going to pay you 10 times that. So you'll get the monthly payment. You'll save money on taxes. You no longer have to deal with tenants, trash, termites, and toilets. And now you're not responsible for taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, right? It's
For
win,
sure.
win, win all the way around. When would you like your payments to start,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, it's super cool, because for them, right, it's just like, even if they're charging $600 for time and energy and repairs and things like that, they might only be taking home, $400, right? Maybe even
Or less,
or
or
less than the three,
less.
or even less than what are you going to offer them, right? So
Right. I mean, and if
that's
they tell you
awesome.
something like, well, I just put a roof on it 2 years ago, that cost me 5 grand. Wow. How many months you got to rent that property to pay for that roof?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
You get to that pain. You get to that pain,
And
right?
twist the
Yeah.
knife.
And twist the knife, for sure. Yeah, yeah. So it definitely sounds like, yeah, you don't have 3 to 5 years experience, right? You said 35 years, not 3 to 5. So just you've probably seen everything. So tell me what's been what would you say would it be like the biggest mistake, right, in the last 35 years? What do you think would it be? I mean, there's
uh,
got to be one in there, Larry, at least one.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll get, we talked about the Shoney's, right?
Yeah.
Don't ever go into anything you don't know anything about, right?
Okay.
So you've got to learn. You've got to learn from other people. For example, I just told you about the land deal,
Yep.
$280,000 profit. I'm giving half that profit away to the guy who helped me put the deal together, that
Cool.
said, this is a good deal. I approve this deal. I'll put up half the money and I'll bring the buyer. So I found the deal, right? I negotiated with the seller. So I brought the deal to the table. He's bringing the buyer. He approved it because he's a land guy. He's been doing land for 20, 30 some years in the area,
Yeah.
right? So he knows land. So don't hesitate giving up some of the profit to learn what you're doing and make sure you don't make any mistakes. Just like the Shoney's. I'd never bought a Shoney's before. I didn't know anything about Shoney's. Now, it all sounded glamorous at the beginning of the call when we talked, oh, you bought a Shoney's, right? I lost $75,000 on that Shoney's restaurant, right?
Wow.
I bought it. I owned it for a while. You think Shoney's is a good tenant. But after a while, I get a letter and a call from a professional commercial lease negotiator, right? Who wanted to renegotiate the lease down. And I had the property under contract to sell. And then whenever they renegotiated the lease, because Shoney's was in financial trouble, then my buyer said, I'll still buy it, but I'll only pay you this. And
Yeah.
back then, this was years and years ago, I still owed a lot of money on that Shoney's restaurant, about $700,000, right? So I took the loss. I took the loss and paid off the debt, right? So, I mean, it sounds glamorous. Yeah, you own the Shoney's, but, in reality, I lost 75 grand on it. So do what you know. If you don't know, you've got to learn. You've got to learn, and don't take your finger off the pulse of what you're doing.
Cool.
Right?
So that.
You,
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead, finish.
no,
Larry.
I was just gonna say, it's like my mother-in-law used to say years ago, and she's from Florida, right? She used to say the best fertilizer in an orange grove is the footsteps of the owner.
Oh,
Know
wow.
what's going on in your business. Great
That's.
advice, huh?
Oh my goodness, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Definitely got to do that. And I would have never guessed. I would never guess that the Shoney's you would have lost money with the Shoney's, especially right after 40. It's like great traffic right there. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
and really, the property was worth it, but they renegotiated the
the
lease.
lease.
It decreased the value. I had it under contract to sell already.
Yep.
So, and I had to tell my buyer, I'm like, look, you can back out if you, they're like, no, we'll go ahead and close, but we're going to drop the price, whatever it was, a couple 100,000 or something. So that put me at a $75,000 loss.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely tough. Those kind of lessons you definitely learn and you don't forget about them, right? They're kind of seared in your mind for a long time. So,
Exactly.
hey, so with that said, I know you have a couple of home study courses, and let's talk a little bit about that, or just a course that you have, and kind of going off, pivoting off, like, hey, kind of know what you're doing, or try, know what you're doing, right? So,
Sure.
go to coaching, right? Coaching, home study courses, or any kind of a course somebody can take so they can learn. So so they don't make those mistakes, or maybe not as many, or maybe some that don't cost as much, because we're all still going to make mistakes. I mean, we're all still going to make mistakes, right? So why don't you
Absolutely.
talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, I've written a few books. I've got a book out there. It's in bookstores called Getting Started in Real Estate Day Trading, How to Buy and Sell Houses the Same Day Using the Internet. I was doing virtual investing before you'd ever heard of the term virtual investing. Started doing it back in the early 2000s. And back when we were using phone, fax, FedEx, email,
Wow.
and internet, right? That's what we were doing back then. But anyway, so from that, I created a training called Real Estate Day Trading Mastery. And it's my take on wholesaling, where anybody can wholesale. You can get on YouTube and find out how to wholesale, but I like to do things a little bit different. I'm a firm believer, go for the low hanging fruit. Keep it simple. There's so many people out there that buy a home study course, or they go to a seminar or something, and they never do anything. So just little things like small towns, under 100,000, free and clear property, making multiple offers with every seller. All those things stack up to increase your odds, of increasing your opportunity to be able to do deals. Like, about anybody will tell you, if you get 3 to 5 times your marketing spend and revenue, that's pretty average, right? But I mean, sometimes we're getting 10 to 20 times our marketing spend, right?
Yeah.
And it's just because the list and the types of offers and the types of properties. So all that stack up to give us many, many more advantages to be able to get more deals than our competition.
Oh, that's super cool. So, what's going to be a link? Somebody wants to get a hold of that. How do they get it?
Yeah, they could go to LarryGoins.com and they'll find it there, just LarryGoins.com, and they'll
Um,
see that link. Let me just check and make sure here.
And I'll make sure
Um,
that there are links in the show notes. It's Larry. It's
you
LARRYGOINS.com.
got it. You got it.
Yeah, even though on your call there it says Candace, but that's okay. I want to keep calling you Candace.
Well, we have two accounts. We have two accounts at Zoom. We have a Larry Goins account and a Candace Broom account, right?
Yeah,
And I guess the last account I logged into was Candace's account. That's why it
yeah,
shows, me as Candace on here,
yeah.
right?
Sometimes I'll log into my COO's account and I'll come up and I'm George. So
That's funny.
yeah, it happens sometimes for sure. Will
That's
you let me
funny.
know if that link's still available for everybody? And I know you
Yeah,
have your
yeah,
book,
yeah.
and
Let's
I
see
know.
here. Yeah, they could go there. They could get the book. They can also call if they want to call a toll free number 877 Larry Go and get a copy of the book. We'll send them a book, a link to the book, if they want to do that. And so yeah, I mean either one, whatever they want to do. If they want to go to LarryGoins.com, there's some links there that they can find the programs there.
Larry, man, I appreciate you being on the show. I love your energy. I'm thinking here in my new office, I'm going to get a desk where I can stand up and I can just move around because just so much energy, and I love it. And
Yeah, baby, that's awesome. And you feel much better
better,
when
yeah,
you're
for
standing
sure.
up. When you're
Yeah,
sitting down, you're just like, so
yeah,
it
for
really
sure.
helps. And and I play guitar, so I have a stand-up guitar here too.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
What,
while I'm on the phone, I'm standing here and I'm playing, right? And
that's
people
super
can't
cool.
even hear me.
Wow,
Can
yeah,
you
you got
hear
the
it?
nice. I cannot hear it. Not at all.
It's because I have the best headset that
I was
they
going to
make.
say that's a nice headset for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, so this brings me to the best part of the show, which I really enjoy, and I'm going to share my screen with you, which is I have the Naked Truth Roulette, and I'm going to ask you 3 random questions. It's got nothing to do with real estate, and
Okay.
it's just going to be 3 random questions for you. So let's go ahead and roll. Let's go ahead and get the first spin for Larry. Let's see what we got.
Oh no, I'm nervous.
Don't get too nervous. Uh, let's see here. Oh, I
One
love this.
more.
Here we go. Is there such a thing as no stupid questions?
Is there such a
Right?
thing as
Yeah,
no
like some
stupid question?
people say
No,
like,
there
hey,
are stupid
right?
questions. There are
Exactly.
stupid questions.
Yeah.
There are stupid questions. I mean, I've had people and listen, I do a lot of coaching and mentoring, helping students like that. But when you get a student that will call you and ask you, where do I get business cards? Come on, right?
Yeah. Look, I always say there is such a thing as stupid questions because I ask them all the time.
Right. And listen, don't be embarrassed to ask a stupid question
Yeah,
because if you
just
don't
ask it.
ask, you don't know.
Ask it. Exactly. You
Right?
still got to ask the question for sure. Awesome.
You've got to. You've got to.
Question number 2 for you.
Here we go.
See what we
And the
got.
wheel is turning.
Let's see. All
Did you
right.
make this wheel?
Yes,
That's
I
pretty
did.
cool.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did you
Let's see what
do
we got.
that?
All right. What is the best Wi-Fi name you've seen? Let's see if
The
anything
best
stands out.
the
Wi-Fi
best
name.
Wi-Fi name I have seen. Wow.
Anything that
Man,
stands out.
I have no idea. I haven't seen any good ones, right?
All right.
I
Then we'll
haven't
pass
really
it.
seen any good ones.
No problem. Somebody said the other day, like FBI van or something like that. I thought it was kind of cool.
Oh, really?
Oh, this is going to be a
That
good
is
one. If it stops here, I definitely want to know this.
Oh,
Yes. Favorite band or song or artist?
Van Halen, no question about it.
Van Halen. Any
No
particular?
question about it. But favorite song is not Van Halen. It's REO Speedwagon, Roll with the Changes.
Yeah, REO Speedwagon for sure. But Van Halen definitely cannot go wrong. All right, let's go with one more question. Let's see. All right, last question for Larry. All right, what is the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn?
That I've ever worn?
Yeah.
Probably when I was a kid, bell-bottom pants.
Bell bottom
red,
pants.
white,
Hey, well, I was about
red,
to say,
white,
it's
and
what
blue
color?
flag bell-bottom pants when I was a
Hey,
kid.
hey, that might be. I might see some people wearing that here the last couple of months. I think bell bottoms. All right, bell bottom pants. Awesome, Larry. I appreciate you answering these questions. You're a good sport. I appreciate it. Thank you
Awesome,
so much.
awesome,
And
awesome.
I love asking questions like that because we get to meet, just ask some personal questions. It's got nothing to do with real estate, right? We just random questions.
And you never know what you're going to get.
Oh, for sure. Anything else you'd like to add? Maybe to the audience out there before we
I just want to say, first of all, to you, I really, really appreciate what you're doing. You're helping a lot of people out there. You're sharing a lot of good information, bringing a lot of good education and information and training to people out there. And but number one, I appreciate what you're doing with those kids, right? I know the thing you're doing with the kids, helping them out, teaching them, training them. You got some help over there doing that.
Yep.
And I just think that is awesome. We used to have an event called Investor Palooza, and then we used to have at that event called Kid Palooza, where for 3 days the parents were in one room and they would bring their kids in the other room. We would teach them what we call financial literacy, whether it be about doing a checkbook, all that anywhere from 12 to 18 years old.
Oh, that's cool.
So I really, really appreciate what you're doing. Keep that up. Keep doing it. Don't, regardless of whether it's a financial benefit or not, just keep doing it and helping those kids. Because I got to tell you, just like my 17-year-old son is in here and his friend Jesse is in here, and they're doing deals. They've made money, so yeah, it can be done. So I appreciate what you're doing there.
Well, thank you so much, Larry. He was talking about the Teen Millionaire Challenge. So we're in our second week that they're here in my office. They're actually in the other room getting some training. So it's pretty cool. And they'll be off on Friday. Actually, we made our first offer yesterday. We sent an LOI for $9 million. So that was pretty good. Made our first offer, so it was great. So, but Larry, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And I'm Javier, your host. Don't lose your shirt.
You're invited to leave an honest written review and share this episode with a friend. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.